Hello, hello. I'm Angela, and it is time to finally, at last, wrap up my first TBR game. My TBR game is called Cozy Corner Café and Bookshop. I played for the first time, and it was rough. It gave me so many ones, which had never happened before. I played so many trial games, never happened. So it was a really interesting experience, and I've tweaked a couple of rules of the game to adjust for that. The purpose is to work through the books that I own. That is the primary goal, unless somehow I can't get any of the prompts to fit. And I call that my Project Read the Room. I just thought it would be fun to give it a name. It's called Project Read the Room. All of my books in this room that I need to read total 150. Since that, I have read 10, so we're down to 140. We're making good progress, in my opinion. But I'm going to review how it went the last game, and then we're going to play for the next round of TBR. So the game gave me 7 books, 1 ebook, 1 hobby, 1 drink, and 2 snacks. So the hobby that I did during this round is baking. The video is going to go up still, but I baked for one of my books. Drink, I drank a strawberry matcha. That video is up. That was for the bookseller recommendation. They recommended the book and there was a drink pairing to go with it. So I had a strawberry matcha. And then my snacks, I had my delicious biscuits, the digestives, with my tea while I read The Last Devil to Die. Had to. It's very, very English. And then the other snack, again, that'll be out in that baking video, so I don't want to spoil that just yet, but there is another snack, so that's fantastic. And that book is for Circe, the baking video. The prompts that I completed for my first TBR round was a book that has a one-word title, and for that, I read Circe. I have reviews for these that are either up or will be coming up on my channel, but I'll give a quick thought and rating. I gave this book 3.75 stars. This was a book that I've had on my TBR for so many years, and I am beyond happy. This is the most accomplished I feel out of all of these that I have actually read this book. I know what Circe is now, and what I know is that it is definitely worth the hype. I think that Circe is something that Madeline Miller did such a good job at humanizing these myths, these Greek goddesses, gods myths, and it is such a human story for a nymph goddess, yet it really does feel that way. So I think that the praise is worthy, and if you're interested in Circe, you have another person telling you to give it a shot. So that was fantastic. The second prompt I got was to roll for a genre. I rolled a 2 and got fantasy. And for fantasy, another very exciting book that I read was Trust of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. This was a 5 out of 5 stars. I'm already listening to it again. I just have such a fun time. Quick review would be hilarious, fun, and an adventure. Pirates, magic, it's a fantastic time. It's such a fun time. The next prompt was read a popular book. I read I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Hartman. I gave this 3 stars. It was really good. I can see why it made such a big impact on a lot of people. For me personally, I just found it a little meandering. I wanted a little more from it, but again, that very well could have been a consequence of things being overhyped and having wrong expectations. But again, like Circe, I am glad that I know this book now, and when people talk about it, I think it's, a worthy book of discussion for sure. Then a book that includes something that you love was my next prompt, and I read A Quiet Life in the Country by T.E. Kinsey. This is a Lady Hardcastle mystery, the first book in the series. This one I gave a 3. It has so many things that I love. Murder mysteries, coziness, this time period, like Victorian time period, England, I love all of it. It was fantastic. I'm excited to read more in the series because I felt like this one also was a little meandering. It was hard reading these near each other because it felt like there was just so many interviews. A lot of, I mean, I know that's what you kind of do when you're detectives, but it was just, I was like, okay, can we get something else? It was just, I wanted a little more to it. There's a lot of books in the series, so I might just like pick some here and there. But the main characters, Flo and Lady Hardcastle, really interesting. Love the banter, like them. So yeah, it's a nice cozy mystery set in England, 1908. And the next one was read a book with an ominous sounding title. I read Vampires of El Norte by Isabel Cañas. 3.75 stars. I know some people complain because they want more horror and vampires. I struggle a lot when people say that they want more horror in books that deal with such horrific topics. Like, this is dealing with colonization of Texas from Mexico, and it is dealing with white colonialism, and it is really wild to me that like the concept of people invading you and just deciding that your land and home that you've had for generations is not yours anymore. And they can kick you out, take everything, kill you. And then on top of that, there are vampire creatures. Horror. So like the Hacienda, the horror elements, while very prevalent and very well written, are not necessarily the complete focus. The complete focus tends to be, at least with these two books, the romance. And there's a lot of shared history between these people, just like they were in the Hacienda. So I am finding that I love Isabel Cañas' books. They are very quick and easy to read and fly through. You just flow through the story. And the writing, I really enjoyed. The characters, the different struggles that they're facing, and they both are going through a lot of emotional turmoil, both together and separately. I think that this is a really good book, and I thought that the vampires were really interesting. And the concept and the metaphor behind the vampires was really interesting, so I really liked this one. Then read your highest rated book. This was The Last Devil to Die by Richard Osman. It is, what, the fourth in the series, I want to say? Let me look. I have them. Yes, this is the fourth in the series. So it makes sense that it's high rated because if you're still reading them by now, you most likely love it. And that holds true for me. This was 5 stars. This was very emotional. This was, as always, very humorous. Nobody beats the character writing of Richard Osman to me. His characters across the board, main characters, side characters, all phenomenal. Loved this one too. Then I got a bookseller recommendation at the bookstore, and at my local Barnes & Noble there was the recommendation of A Closed and Common Orbit by Becky Chambers with the strawberry matcha. I thought that the pairing went together oddly well. I didn't love it, the strawberry matcha, but at the same time it made sense because, you know, they have algae that can be fuel for some of these spaceships. They have more natural foods out in their different planets, and it just somehow fit really well with this book. So once again, I am going to highly recommend atmospheric eating and drinking with books, and also like the ambient rooms, the ASMR rooms. Find something that matches it. When I read Tress, I had a pirate ship one going, and it was lovely. It fit because she was on a pirate ship. Like, it really enhances the experience, and I really enjoyed that with this one. The last one was an ebook. That was Happy Place by Emily Henry, and unfortunately that was a big old DNF from me. That was not for me. I don't like miscommunication tropes when you're all adults and you should talk to each other. That was my first round. I would say that was really successful, other than how it took me an extra month. That was crazy. Wait, that took me 3 months, not 2, because this was March 9th. You know what? I never said I was a fast reader. And I also read other books too. But I'm really excited to play now and get the next round of books and hobbies and drinks and snacks. So let's go ahead and play. And here is my TBR game. This is called Cozy Corner Café and Bookshop. The idea behind this, with all of my little miniatures involved, is that I'm a fictional character going into a cafe and bookshop. I love cozy. This is the ultimate of the cozies. So I'm going to move through the bookstore, stopping at my bookshelves and spaces along the way that I roll to get to. And I'm going to collect books. I'm going to collect drinks, snacks, hobbies, maybe challenge books, maybe 24-hour or 48-hour readathons. We shall see. And I use the miniatures to put at these green carpets to symbolize what I've rolled so that I don't forget. These stand for hobbies, snacks, drinks, and then these are all of the book options. Now, when I get to these bookshelves, the goal is to get prompts, which is that stack of cards right there, to use to figure out what to read from my TBR shelves. Now, one thing that I'm going to change from last time is that at this last bookshelf, by the time you're walking through a bookstore and you get to the end before you're going to relax at the cafe and get a snack and a drink, and then you're going to chill in this cozy fireplace corner and read your books, you have to decide. Are you getting more? Are you putting some back? How is this going? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this last bookcase be flexible. It's my choice. As I said, this is a game that I use to enjoy my TBR and enjoy what I'm going to read. So if I have somehow landed on tons of books, I might decide that, you know, I found all the books from this trip. If I had not gotten many, I'll draw one. Quite honestly, as I said, when you're at the end, you really decide what are you going to do before you curl up with your books in the cozy corner. I could decide I want to have multiple. It's kind of a free space, however I want to use it to flush out my TBR. So that's the plan, and let's get rolling. All right, first roll. Let's see if we can not get a 1 this time. Okay, cool. 2. A little bit better than a 1. But I'm not complaining because any space is a good space because this is a snack. And that makes me happy. I love snacking and reading, and especially when I can match the snacks and drinks to the book. Oh, a 1. Perfect. Well, that's okay. We have our first book. Let's get our little miniature book here and place it by the fireplace and see what prompt we get. Read a book that you have been so excited for. Okay, that's an easy prompt to make me excited because I can think of quite a few books that I've been excited for. Fabulous. All right, let's see if we can get to the first shelf. A 2. Ooh, good. No, we have a hobby first. Fantastic. These beautiful little roses to symbolize the hobby. See, that's the thing. My game is not painful for me because I made it so that I enjoy everything that I get. So I highly recommend if you're going to come up with a TBR game, unless you thrive off of challenges, make it that you don't hate anything that you get. So I rolled a 5. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A drink. Perfect, because we have a snack. I'm going to put my little teacup over here. So, but I did stop at this bookshelf. So what prompt did we get? What book did we get at that bookshelf? Focus. Thanks. Read a murder mystery. I'm always happy to do that very thing. This is so fun. I love the prompts. A 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. We'll talk in a second. Let me see what prompt I got at this bookshelf first. A book that you feel guilty for not having read yet. This is one of my favorite prompts because this is going to make me read a book that I feel guilty not having read yet. Love. And then this star. So, let me add that book first before I forget. So I've got 2 books so far. The star is a challenge. So a challenge space would be obviously a book that would be a challenge for me to read. And I can choose if I want to take the challenge or not. So let me think. You know, I'm halfway through the board. I hope this isn't famous last words, but I'm halfway through the board and I'm doing good. I've got 2 prompts. Wait, I have 3 prompts. Oh my goodness, I missed a book. There we go. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to take the challenge. I'm going to take the challenge. I will look and see which books fit that category to finally read. Holy cow. This is such a good month. A 4. 1, 2, 3. Oh my goodness. A 24-hour readathon. So I have to film these. I don't know if I said that, but the 24, 48-hour readathons I will be filming. This is, what fun. Especially with the challenge book. Oh man, this is going to be so fun. I'm excited. A 6. Oh wow. Okay, so got my first bookshelf. Let's see that prompt. I'm gonna count first because I'm gonna lose count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Another hobby. Love that. So what did I get here? A book that fits the season. Is it spring or summer? I'm gonna have to look into that when I make my choices. So either a spring or summer type book. And in case I never mentioned it, I can't double up on these prompts. These are all individual books. So we've got another book. All right, well, I'm at my last shelf. I got a 1, perfect. Anyway, I was gonna stop at the shelf. Let's evaluate. How do we feel? Do we feel satisfied? 1, 2, 3, 4. This is gonna be through the month of June. Yeah, you know. But see, I've got 5 because I've got the challenge as well. So 4 books and a challenge book. But I have a 24-hour readathon, which will get me reading more books. You know, yeah, we're doing another one for sure. Let's throw down another miniature book here. What's the new prompt? A book with an animal or insect on the cover. Great. All right, so we have made it through this round. We've made it to the cafe. I have a snack and I have a drink, so I don't need to get any more. And now we're gonna move to the cozy corner. So let me zoom in here. So as I said, we've got a snack and a drink. All right, in the cozy corner, we have a 24-hour readathon, a challenge, 5 books, and 2 hobbies. All right, I'm gonna go to the bookshelf and pick my TBR from the prompts. I've chosen my TBR. The reason I don't film it is because it takes 84 years. I don't know how people can just think of one on the fly. Like, I really think hard about this because it's what I'm going to be focusing on the whole month. Now, this was hard because there were a lot of prompts that a lot of books would fit the same thing for. And also, there are some new releases that I have pre-ordered that would fit. But again, the point of my game is to get myself to pick from the books that I own on my shelves, my Read the Room project, right? So even though there's books I'm so excited for I could have chosen, I was strict with myself. Let's do that one then. The book that I have been so excited for is The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo. This was a hard choice because I'm excited for a lot of books, but I really had to, as I said, be strict with myself because I was thinking, okay, what book did I buy or pre-order immediately when it came out? And I had to choose from that because to me that's a good indicator of how excited I was for it. And that would be The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo. I love Leigh Bardugo. This came out April 9th, 2024. So I got this immediately when it came out and I have not read it yet. So that's about to change. The Familiar is a book set in the Spanish Golden Age. You follow the main character, who is a young Lucia who finds out that she has some magical abilities, some little miracles that she can perform. She gets noticed by some royalty, and while that starts with some just amusement and some ways to try to use her magic to help them get more power or notoriety, whatever it may be, can quickly seems like it turns into a problem for her. There are some characters in the royalty circle that wants to potentially use her powers for some nefarious reasons, it sounds like. And on top of that, during the Inquisition, she has Jewish heritage, and so it says that it makes the danger level go up by worrying that her Jewish blood will doom her to the Inquisition's wrath. She'll have to use every bit of her wit and will to survive. A book that you feel guilty for not having read yet? Okay, so call me out. Myself, I'm the one who wrote these cards. Yeah, don't judge me. Legends and Lattes. Legends and Lattes. It's happening. Everybody be calm. It's happening. The Office quote. Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree is a book that everyone that has ever read it that I've seen absolutely adores it. It is, from what I can tell, the peak of the cozy fantasy genre. Also potentially the start of the cozy fantasy genre. There is very low stakes involved, and I knew I was gonna love this. I bought this not very long after it came out. I actually, you can see, I don't know if you can tell, but the cover is matte. I know they still use this cover, but I got it when it was by Cryptid Press. Now it's not, but that's how long I've had this book and known that I wanted to read it. This is about an orc who retires from being a warrior, right? And then follows her dream of creating a cafe. What more could you want? As I said, and as you can tell by my game, I love all of that. And that's the problem. That's why. So the reason why I haven't read it yet is because I'm an idiot. And I just know I'm gonna be absolutely in love and obsessed with it, and my heart is gonna burst and explode, and that's a lot of feelings for one body. And so I just have needed to find the time that was the right time to be able to handle this obsession that I know I'm gonna have. Also, I'm sure there's a bit of defiance in there of the concept of like, oh, everyone is reading it and loving it. I don't want to do the same thing as everybody else. It's dumb and it makes no sense. Brains are weird. I don't get it. But everyone says I'm gonna love it, and I'm just like, don't tell me what to do. Like, I don't know. No, it's that. It's really more that I feel overwhelmed by how much I think I'm going to love this. And I feel like it's going to be a book that is like made for me, you know? So it's time. I need to stop this foolishness, and I need to read the thing that I know I'm gonna love. So that's happening. In that same vein, another cozy fantasy that I'm going to read is TU at the Altar by Rebecca Thorne. This is going to be for the prompt of a book that fits the season. And TU at the Altar is the third book in the Tomes and Tea trilogy. This TU at the Altar, it's not a spoiler, this is going to be the wedding, finally, of Rhaena and Kianth, which is a all-powerful mage and an ex-Queen's Guard. They both leave to create a tea and bookshop and plant shop together. But then they end up getting into all these different things with dragons and pirates and dragon's eggs and horrible evil queens. I just feel like this fits spring leading into summer, which is what this next month is going to be in June. It is cozy, lighthearted, warm weather in this book, and the tea shop and bookshop has just plants all over it because Kianth is a mage, and she's the mage of ages, so she's like the best mage of all. And the plants there, and there's dragons. I love the puns, I love the humor, I love all the characters. It's just so cozy, so I'm excited to see the plots and drama that is about to unfold. If you know from the end of the second book, you know what's about to go down. I think this would be great for the season. We're gonna switch it up from the fantasy and the cozy fantasy, but we'll be back to it, with the murder mystery. The murder mystery I'm gonna read finally at last. This is another book that would fit for, I was so excited, I feel guilty I haven't read it yet, is Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone by Benjamin Stevenson. Murder mysteries, humor, I absolutely love it. This says Knives Out and Clue meet Agatha Christie and the Thursday Murder Club in this fiendishly clever blend of classic and modern murder mystery. I don't even want to read what it's about because I don't like to do that when it comes to mysteries. And on top of that, all of those things, who doesn't love those? Knives Out, Clue, Agatha Christie, Thursday Murder Club. Some people have struggled with the humor in writing. I think I'm gonna love it. I hope. We'll find out. But I tend to like tongue-in-cheek and humorous writing. So Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone is added to the list. The last of the prompts, after all of this fantasy and murder mystery and then my challenge book, I wanted to go with something a little more easy and enjoyable and lighthearted. And this is a book with an animal or insect on the cover. And there are birds on this cover. And this is the 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. I'll look that up. And this is a romance. I don't know. It just sounds nice, and I've heard good things. The only thing I know about this is that there is like a time travel element. She goes into her late aunt's apartment, and there's a man standing there, and she would have fallen in love with him, except he exists 7 years in the past. And then it's time. It's time. My challenge book. This is a book, if I remember correctly, when I first started my channel in 2020, this was a book that I had owned already, probably for a while, and I had said, like, this was something that I wanted to prioritize to read. I'm gonna finally read this chunk. I'm gonna finally read The Prior of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. It's not the size. I read books that are over 1,000 pages, and I have done that for a long time, and it's not a big deal. It's not the size. It is the fact that there are apparently, like, a lot of characters. Like, a lot. And it has to do with court politics, which is really fun. But again, a lot of names, a lot of characters, a lot of words I may or may not know. I don't even remember what this is about at this point. The main thing I know is that it is a dragon book, and it has to do with court politics, or just politics in general. And so we're doing it. This is the challenge book. And honestly, this was one of the books I had in mind when I created that challenge space. So I did this to myself. But I'm excited because I want to make this a great experience, and I want to finally have read this book and know what it is when I see it on my bookshelf, because it's such a gorgeous cover. What is honestly better than this? Come on. And the tail wraps around. This is one of the best covers I've ever seen. Not just the cover, but all the way around. It's incredible. And I stare at it. It looks great. And I don't know what it's about. So that's the challenge. We're going to change that. I'm trying to lift this up, but it's heavy. Okay. Here's the books. So here are my books that I'm going to be reading for June for my Cozy Corner Café and Bookshop TBR game. And I will also have 2 hobbies that I'm going to film myself reading and doing things with, as well as a drink and a snack. So I will see you then. Thank you for watching and take care.